Marcus Park did not recognize the man who approached him at his father's funeral. He was well-dressed, appropriately somber, and introduced himself as a longtime business partner. He offered condolences, spoke warmly about Marcus's father, and then, before leaving, mentioned quietly that there was a legal matter they would need to discuss soon. Marcus assumed it was routine. It was not anything close to routine. Evelyn Park was 81 years old and had lived in Nashville, Tennessee, her entire married life. Her husband, Gerald, had built a commercial landscaping company over 30 years before passing away suddenly in October of 2022. His estate, including the business, the family home, and accumulated savings, was valued at $2.3 million. His son, Marcus, 48, had taken immediate leave from his own work to care for Evelyn, who had been left deeply disoriented by the loss. Carl Simmons, 63, had worked alongside Gerald in the early years of the business before the partnership was formally dissolved in 2011. Gerald had bought out Carl's share for a documented and settled amount, and the two had maintained a distant but cordial relationship afterward. Carl attended the funeral because he had known Gerald for decades. What he brought with him, tucked inside a leather folio, was something he had been preparing for months. 3 weeks after the funeral, Carl's attorney contacted the estate with a claim. He presented a partnership dissolution agreement dated 2009, 2 years before the actual documented dissolution, which stated that in the event of Gerald's death, Carl was entitled to reclaim a 49% ownership stake in the business. The document carried Gerald's signature. It also carried a notary seal from a notary who had retired in 2014. Marcus had never heard of this document. Neither had Gerald's attorney of 20 years. Marcus retained attorney David Hale, a business and probate litigator in Nashville. David immediately requested the original 2011 dissolution agreement from Gerald's attorney's files and placed the two documents side by side. The differences were significant. The 2009 document used formatting conventions and legal language that had not been in common use until several years after its stated date. David brought in a forensic document examiner who analyzed both the paper composition and the ink used in the 2009 agreement. Her findings were unambiguous. The document had been printed within the previous 18 months. The ink had not aged in any way consistent with a document from 2009. The notary seal, belonging to a retired notary, had been replicated using a stamp purchased online, a fact investigators confirmed by tracing the purchase through Carl's credit card records. The hearing was held before the Honorable Judge William Tate at the Davidson County Circuit Court. David Hale presented the forensic document analysis, the ink dating results, the stamp purchase records, and testimony from Gerald's longtime attorney confirming he had never seen or been consulted about any 2009 agreement during his 2 decades of representing Gerald. Carl's attorney argued the document was privately prepared outside normal channels at Gerald's request. David Hale asked the court to explain why a man who maintained an attorney for 20 years would have arranged a significant partnership agreement privately without his attorney's knowledge, using legal language that did not exist at the time the document claimed to be written. Judge William Tate ruled the 2009 agreement a fabrication and dismissed Carl's claim entirely. He referred Carl Simmons to the Davidson County District Attorney for forgery and fraud. Carl was convicted and sentenced to 4 years in Tennessee State Prison. Evelyn remained in her home. Marcus took over managing the landscaping company his father had built, and kept every employee on the payroll through the dispute. Gerald Park spent 30 years building something real. A man who had once been part of it tried to reclaim it with a document that never existed. The court made sure the truth was the only thing that mattered. Would you have known how to challenge a document like that? Tell us in the comments below. And if this story moved you, subscribe to Court of Shadows for more courtroom drama stories every week.